Okay. Okay, so hello and welcome to a vintage challenge. This is the first vintage challenge post Eternal Weekend. Eternal Weekend was an absolute blast. We streamed for 26 of the 48 hours in a weekend. Um, I subsequently was in a coma all Monday. Not a real coma, but an anti magic coma. And we slept in bed. It was very nice. But then I got right back at it. Not exactly spoilers, but the Eternal Weekend coverage for Legacy came out yesterday. I'm gonna give you guys some clues, some hints. Not really. I'm just gonna tell you straight up. I wrote the article for the Eternal Weekend coverage for Vintage, so check that out on the mothership when it comes out. I'm hoping sometime later this week. I also was had the opportunity to do some commentary over a couple of matches. I did commentary with the great Eric Virgo. It was fantastic. He helped me out a lot. I think I'm a little rough around the edges when it comes to commentary, but I think I provided some I think I provided some good content. All the other commentators for Vintage are awesome. You guys are gonna really love the commentary and the content that are coming out on for WotC um on the mothership. So that was through Anurag and Julian and all those other guys. So crazy stuff coming up. I haven't played much vintage since Sunday. So I was just like, let's throw something on throw something together. This is an UrzaOko list. I haven't played UrzaOko in maybe half a year. What I did was I took Goggles, very successful Urza list. Goggles does very well with the Grixis Urza list. I took that. I swapped out the red for some green so we could play some catch-all Assassin's Trophies and Okos, as well as a pyroblastable Hydra in the board. And it's almost exactly what Goggles is doing. I don't fix what is not broken, and that's kind of what I think. There's like some things where I put in a Sphinx instead of a Citadel. I included a Narset and a Night's Whisper. There's a couple changes here and there, but for the most part, it's Goggles Urza list. So I've talked too much. It is time to play Magic. Let's see if I still know how to play Magic. I would like to play first. Honestly, I've kept worse hands. I have a negation and a misstep. I can vampiric for something that like I don't know, ancestral. Obviously not always the strongest play, but not an unreasonable play here. And then I have a backup tutor and an Oko, and obviously I lose my Tinker target by pitching it to Force, but this deck doesn't need its Tinker target. It's a risky hand. I'm kind of down. It's a pretty powerful hand, right? I could definitely see mulliganing this hand, but I like the amount of protection I have here with double counter spells. Especially Mental Misstep will maybe allow an Ancestral to resolve. Obviously, you don't really want to be vamping for Ancestral, but it's not the end of the world if we do so, and we get to follow up with, you know, pretty powerful things. See how it plays out. I don't really know how this deck plays out. It's definitely different from PO. You're more on the control end than the combo end, but hopefully we can pull it together. Now, I really wouldn't want to see like a Wasteland deck on the other side, especially with me. Probably I have to fetch a non-basic here. It definitely has to be like an Underground Sea. Cast my Vampiric, so let's see what opponents got. Yeah, it's a Wasteland deck, but I'm definitely gonna just try to short them with this Mental Misstep on this Deathray Shaman. It might mean that I have some problems with like a Spell Pierce or something. I could definitely see myself having a problems if my opponent has Spell Pierce. I'm just straight up losing to Flusterstorm, but I'm pretty much always straight up losing to Flusterstorm. I guess another question would be maybe I just Ancestral on their turn so I have negation back up. Obviously, it's a little sus because I'm not making my land drops, but I think it makes sense though. See how this goes. All right, so they do hit a fluster. It's kind of unfortunate. I guess they could have days. Um, they could also. They do have. Oh, they're red, so they're 4-color Deathray Shaman. Oh, they have flustered. I was hoping they were gonna Pyroblast this. All right, so we're pretty dead. And I mean, we can draw land in Demonic Tutor. I guess that's fine. Yeah, that's really bad for me. I didn't. Man, can't really beat a fluster there. The way our current hand is set up. What's up, Mario? I had a DAC cut. Oh wow, okay. I mean that's a great draw for sure. What are we gonna get with this Demonic Tutor? We have options. We don't have much mana. We have 5 cards in the yard, so we're gonna have 6 cards in the yard, so we could technically cruise or dig. Both those are a little weak to possible Pyroblasts. I can't play any of my 3-drop walkers unless I hit a land. I could get a land so that I can make sure I hit this Oko. That seems like an inevitability, though. Hitting a 3rd mana. There are just so many mana sources in my deck. Yawgmoth's Will is not bad at all. Yawgmoth's Will is not bad. I just have to hit more mana sources for it. If I hit like a Moxen off the top, my Will is land, Ancestral Recall with Misstep backup, which is okay. I think I'm just going to get a dig through time. Try to start setting up some kind of powerful play. This also lets me play around negation. Lets me, protect my dig through time with my own force of negation. If opponent were to jam a Narset here that resolved, I wouldn't, have my cruise blocked off by Narset. I think Whisper's fine, but I think dig through time is a lot more powerful, right? All right, so you have a Ren and 6, which I don't really want happening. I'm just gonna pitch this Sphinx. It's pretty much impossible for me to cast it. Opponent's probably like pitching Sphinx. I don't even see a Moxidant board. So if they counter this back, hopefully we can just resolve one of our spells. All right, they only have 2 cards. They're only ahead on 2 mana. It's not the end of the world. Land? Oh, interesting. My own Night's Whisper. Well, we're very lucky opponent has never had a Wasteland. I agree. See, why do you need a tutor for Night's Whisper when you can just draw it? I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to just cast the Night's Whisper here. Try to hit this land drop. Not exactly a land drop. I don't think I'm going to play the Ruby out, just in case they, rip a DAC off the top and play a DAC. It's not a bad draw because I do have an Oko. But opponent has got free reign here to cast a Walker, and that's scary. Yeah, all right. Well, Narset is not the end of the world, but I certainly got punished for not playing my Ruby. This is definitely one of the lines where you get punished for not playing a Ruby, because if I had played my Ruby and I had drawn a land, I would have had haste. Did they miss? They missed. All right. That can happen in the bug deck. All right. I'm real happy on Narset whiffed. I'm also real happy I got dig and not cruise. I'm a little sad I didn't play this Ruby, though. I think it's pretty hard to justify playing around Narset when I think it's better to play around deck. All right. Well, then. So they have 2 cards. So I think what we want to start off by doing is just lotusing for dig through time and seeing if it resolves. So negation can go, land can go, misstep, ancestral, Night's Whisper, and all of these are really good for Yawgmoth, which is in our deck, so I gotta be careful. I think I'm just gonna take the other land and just keep the really strong Yawgmoth's Will package of Ancestral Demonic Black Lotus. In case we like rip a Yagmoth Swill off of this Dig Through Time. It's possible this Dig Through Time is better than this Oko, but I kind of doubt that. But now I've successfully baited the Oko Resolution. Opponent has 0 cards in hand. The big problem is they can activate Narset and find a Pyroblast. I'm just gonna make sure this is an Elk to start here. That way my Elk can kill this Narset. Obviously, maybe it doesn't. Like, they have a draw step and they have a Narset activation. They could easily just hit Ancestral, Dig Through Time, Cruise off of this Narset, draw 3 cards. So they found a Dak Faden. They're gonna jam Dak Faden? Okay, I'm cool with that. Goyf is not the end of the world, but it's not good. Well, you can't really... Yeah, you have to draw the Goyf. You can't find it off of... Okay, so they're just gonna get rid of my Ponder by plussing their Dak Faden on me, because Narset means I can't draw more than 1 card, which is, I think, a pretty reasonable play. That's such a draw. Oh my god, that's such a good draw, chat. That's so good. Alright, Narset down, and then Dak Faden down. Oh my god. Oko! What a draw. I am gonna play this in case I want to turn it into an Elk. Alright, they have 1 card, they have 2 cards. We have an 8 loyalty Oko and 2 Elks. Technically, they can become unblockable Elks if I hit another mana source too. So even if they play a Goyf, I could still start pressuring. Though I would just take the Goyf, right? Well, it would probably have more than 3 power. I would have to turn the Goyf into an Elk. They had their own Oko off the top. Okay. I mean, that's not going to do very much because you make an Elk, I take your Elk, I give you a key, which is fun. I think that's the play. Or I could just stand up my key and attack the Oko. Then they get to keep an Elk, but they don't get a key. But I don't really care if they have a key. Key doesn't really matter. I think I would rather have 1 more Elk. Let me, I was gonna say untap this. I guess I can untap that. I guess it doesn't matter, does it? Really doesn't matter. I don't know why I care. Whoa, whoa, what if I just make 1 unblockable? No, that doesn't do anything. Yeah, if I just give you a key, take your Elk, attack your Oko. I have 9 power, you have nothing. Cleansing Wildfire. Interesting. Sure. I'll go get an island. I lost my black source though, which is worth noting. Alright, they hit a Moxen, so they're pretty dead. They hit my black source. I drew that really insane Yagwil that I set up. I set up a really crazy Yagwil with Ancestral Lotus, Ancestral Demonic Lotus Time Walk, but they successfully cleansing wildfired my swamp, so I'm not 100% sure if there are any cards that would get my opponent out of this one. I guess, you would have to start with Cruise Ancestral and work from there. Maybe get double Goyf or something. All right, we have successfully beaten Pyroblast in game 1. Let's bring in... I think this Sphinx is still great. Mana Gorger Hydra should be good. It's possible we want a Toxic Deluge. Probably want Flusterstorm. In this matchup, I really don't think I want Bulk Key. Like, questionable how many negations I would really want. No, I never bring in Needle for walkers. I think that is a bad use of resources. Don't like that very much. It's possible this is like a Narset out matchup, depending on I don't know how many creatures they play. We didn't really see any creatures. All we saw were the walkers, but they could be playing like 9 walkers. So maybe we do want Narset. I don't know. Narset can be a little weak. I know I don't want Vault Key. I just don't know what else I don't want. Maybe this isn't a Vamp matchup. Um I mean, it's a big blue. It's just another variety of big blue Tinker decks. I think this is just. I mean, the rest of my cards are really good. I think this is fine. I mean, it's possible we don't actually want this Deluge, and Narset can stay because we haven't even seen enough creatures from our opponent to really warrant this yet. I'm kind of off the Deluge until we see it. Why would you want to cut negation versus the 10 Planeswalker deck? Doesn't sound correct to me. I don't understand that logic. Like, yes, they're not doing unfair things and you don't want a 2-for-1 yourself, but like one Resolve Walker makes my life really difficult because I don't play Pyroblast. So I think it's fine. I definitely understand. I guess I understand why someone would want to cut negation. I don't really think that's what Vintage is about. Like, people are always saying like, oh, you can maybe cut your Force of Wills in like these kind of fair matchups. And I don't really see it. This is a great hand. This is an absolutely fantastic hand. I've got a Force of Will, Force of Negation. I've got Merchant Scroll for Ancestral, and I'm 1 Moxen away from turn 1 Urza. This hand is fire. Complete fire. Oh, let's see what opponent has. Opponent also has blue and red Moxen. Holding up spells. Okay. Now, question becomes, I'm gonna have to expose this tropical island no matter what. Kind of unfortunate in that sense, but I don't think I want to cast the Preordain. I think I would rather just use it to pitch for a spell. I guess I could hold up like a hard cast negation, but then I'm like, I'm running the risk of getting wildfired, or I mean, I can negate a wildfire, or like wastelanded. Think I would rather cast. I mean, it just feels like this is a counter spell, right? So this should really shouldn't just push a new. I don't really need to push a scroll through. The only reason I want to push a scroll through is because of things that blow up my tropical islands. I don't like this at all. I'm gonna use my negation here for full cancel value. I think that it's really possible opponent just has no good cards in their hand, and like this brainstorm can really fix that. And maybe that's an overestimation of like how good that brainstorm is. But I hate like the one brainstorm with a fetch land and vintage is so good, so good. I mean, I'm almost on 4 preordain, so like you could technically make an argument that it's a Xerox deck, but you can't make an argument as a Xerox deck because Xerox is about cutting mana sources, and I'm playing all of these like Moxen, you know. So it's not really a Xerox deck, it's a big blue deck is the categorization we usually use. So I want to land, I want to play Urza. I'm okay with Flusterstorm as well. Opponent has F6, so I'm just going to jam this. If opponent has baited me, then so be it. They did not bait me. I'm going to hold the Lotus because of a second DAC or like a Grudge or something maybe. But I might want to have Flusterstorm back up, to be honest. It's going to be really... I want to make sure my Urza gets cast. I think I'm going to hold the Lotus. This is really good, though. I have Force, Fluster, Lotus, and Urza. Another DAC faded. And this one I'm going to let resolve. If they want to steal my Ruby, it's really... If they want to steal my Sapphire, it's super okay with me. Because I still have the mana to play Urza with Flusterstorm backup. And my Urza is just gonna kill this. So... Lotus... Urza. Now I'm like very much in the driver's seat here. I have a Force to protect my Urza. I have a Flusterstorm to protect my Force. Opponent can't steal my Construct because they have already used their Dak Faden. I guess that's a reason that maybe we wanted to force Dak Faden because they could actually steal Construct. But I do have a second Urza, so maybe this is... I'm thinking maybe it was greedy to let this resolve, but maybe it's also not. All right, well, now they know the jig is up. I have a Force Fluster. Hmm. This could have been greedy. A lightning bolt on my construct. Man, it's really awkward, isn't it? Well, if I force this, I think I just force this so I can make sure that the Dakvaden dies. Like, what else could they do? There's like really nothing else they can do here. Interesting. Don't have a black mana currently. Alright, Dakvaden must die. And I guess you get hit for 1. Don't really have much else going for me here. An Oko is kind of annoying, especially like you can just Oko this. I mean, Oko Urza would be killing the Oko, so it's not the end of the world. Like a Pyroblast on my Urza, and then I wonder. I think that really sad that this Flusterstorm is so bad. I really think I might have been supposed to counter the Dakvaden. If I just counter the Dakvaden, my construct's a 4/4. I have another mana. Maybe I was just like super greedy by not countering the Dak. If I can hit a fetch land, I do have trophy, which is nice, but I'm kind of getting buried by opponents like restricted blue card right now. Cleansing Wildfire. So I just turn off the cycle. No, it doesn't really seem like it's worth it. I still have a green mana anyways, so I don't know. It doesn't seem like a big deal. If I hit a mana source here, there's a possibility that I don't even attack with this construct and I just try to spin instead. Another Moxen. I'm really jealous. Oh, a Black Lotus as well. Okay, well, extremely Black Lotus here. I guess Gray Lotus. What opponent? This is not how it works. Why? If I just F3 fast enough, it's fine. It's a bait, Wombo. Look, opponent... Wombo, you gotta get on my level, man. Come on now. F4 is a terrible hotkey. F4 is garbage. F3 is where it's at. F3 is regain control. F3 is quick cancel my F6. Opponent was just like, I'm gonna jam this Ancestral. And I'm like, nah, I got blue mana off of my Emerald. All right, we might win this game because of this play right here. If opponent... Ooh, okay. If opponent had just, waited till my turn to cast this Ancestral, man, I don't know. It just feels like a punt. The F6 bait was too real. All right, so I have options. I can Assassin's Trophy this Leovold and give them a card, or I can just spin the Urza. And the only problem with spin the Urza is 1 Treasure Cruise, 3 Preordains, 4 Ponder, 5 Brainstorm. Or sorry, that's 6 Brainstorm. So there are 6 cards. 6 cards that I get punished for spinning. I still think it's supposed to spin. Like, if any Planeswalker is just insane. Sphinx, Tinker. I mean, there's a lot of forces as well. There's like lands and forces. So there are a lot of cards that are pretty bad. But I think the upside is just super, super high. I don't want to give them a card. Like, they'll have 2 cards and infinite mana going into their turn. I think the upside is just like very, very high to be spinning. All right, we missed. Yeah. No, I wasn't saying like the not hits. I was saying the hits that were turned off by Leovold, like there's a plenty of non-hits, but the hits that were like the ones that are normally hits that are turned off, that's kind of what I was worried about. I'm gonna hold this in case I spin into a land. I'm just gonna keep doing this though. I think it's better. Like anytime that's great. Let's do that. I guess it's bad if they have it do a counter spell off the top, but whatever. Really bad if they drew a counter spell off the top, but what can I do? All right, that resolves. So do they have a basic in their deck? No. Kind of hard to imagine they had a basic. Maybe they drew it. This is just gonna attack in. All right, spinning. Now I don't have to spin with my Karn token. I can spin with just my mana sources. That's another Moxen. Unfortunate. All right, what's opponent draw? They drew an Narset though. Not bad. This will draw something good, and I should be able to kill it unless they found a way to. All right, they draw Force of Will. Okay, Misty is not on yet. Okay, no Mystic Sanctuary yet. What I'm gonna do is, I guess playing this doesn't matter. Oh, they only have a Force of Will. We know they have a Force of Will, so let's just start by attacking the Narset. Narset down. Nah, I just got lazy, man. I just got lazy. I'm gonna play the Soul Ring to get around Lightning Bolt range for my Construct. They might just force it, but if they don't force it, then my Construct's out of Lightning Bolt range, and I'm still gonna spin. Oh, I guess I could hold the spin for a force. It's just so unlikely to hit a force. I should just spin. If they use their force, they use their force. It's fine. All right, that's fine too, because that is gonna be Ancestral Recall. So that's pretty insane. It could also just be Assassin's Trophy if I need it to be. See what they hit off the top. They hit an Assassin's Trophy off the top. I have no more basics left. Yeah, this is fine. I'm not happy about. Well, it's not exactly fine per se, because opponent does have that Force of Will. Am I supposed to not put on? I mean, I'm supposed to just make him use it, right? Maybe that's not actually fine. Because I do have to blank my draw step to get them to use. Oh, I don't. I forgot my Mystic Sanctuary is gone. Well, fuck. Okay, never mind. True. Forgot we swung and missed with our Sanctuary. All right. I mean, at least that's that's gonna draw the Force. So, well, do I wait and try to protect? I mean, what can I use to protect from? I can't. My Flusterstorm's not gonna work. I could draw my own Force of Will or Force of Negation. I guess there's really no reason to just jam in and lose for no reason. Like, they could easily draw things that, take up their mana. Let's just hold it. Let's just be disciplined for once in our lives. The worst thing that could happen. 1, 2, 3. No, I do. 1 blue, blue, red, 5. I have enough for Force of Will. Boo. I don't like this. Keep getting all my lands cleansed in the Great Wildfire. I don't have more more non-basics. Or sorry, more basics. I did. I had exactly enough. What are you talking about? I had exactly enough mana for that. All right, so I'm going to try to bait this Force. Oh, they don't have enough mana for Force of Will now. So I just get to kill this Tarmogoyf and resolve my Narset because we know they have no basics left. That's pretty much winning. That's pretty much winning. That actually might just win the game on the spot. Opponent got dirty with it, and we're just going to look for a Moxen, which is lethal. Narset finding a Moxen is lethal here. All right, game. Constructs for the win. Sweet. That's a good start to the day. The deck looked pretty strong there. No worries, no worries. No worries. Not bad. Not bad at all. We take those. Didn't even cast any Tinkers.